Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. Again, I don't know what it is, but I've got myself a little bit of a sore throat. Might come with the fact that I've been moving house for the past couple of days. I'm actually at my girlfriend's place right now, waiting to be able to move into a brand new house, which has never been lived in before here in Bali. It's not like a traditional Bali villa. It's a bit more London style. I thought it was going to be like a good little place for me to be living for the videos, all of that kind of stuff. You guys don't really care about my habitation. That's not even a word, I don't think. Guys don't really care about where I'm living. You care about what I've got to say about the mighty Chelsea. And obviously it's a massive game tonight against Spurs away in the Premier League. Struggling to speak here properly today, but I'm going to try and get this one out as best as I can for you. Tottenham Hotspur away. It is probably the second biggest challenge that Thomas Tuchel has had so far as Chelsea manager. I would say the first one was actually being able to field a team and taking that risk to field three at the back after only being Chelsea manager for 24 hours. I think that is actually a bigger test. Spurs are not in very good form themselves. There is some serious pressure right now being built on Jose Mourinho, and obviously a lot of people didn't think that Lampard was going to get sacked at this stage of the season. But Spurs, if they keep dropping results and they keep falling away from the top four, then Jose Mourinho is going to be under some serious pressure as well. And I know for a fact that regardless of how well Spurs are playing, Mourinho is going to get them ready for this game today against Chelsea. He would not want a defeat to Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea, which would see Chelsea go above Spurs in the table. He wouldn't want that to happen. Mourinho doesn't like being under pressure. We often see that when pressure starts to come and fall upon the shoulders of Jose Mourinho, he really starts to struggle. And it's when we see capitulations happen. So tonight is going to be tough. If we bring it back to what we saw when it was still Frank Lampard's Chelsea and Mourinho came to Stamford Bridge, Spurs were incredibly defensive. They didn't create really any opportunities, which we've seen. There's not been a single shot on target from a team that played against Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea so far. So Chelsea are very good at shutting teams out based off of this three at the back formation that we've seen with the Tuchel tactics that we've had in the past two games. So if Spurs go and play a similar way, then I think Chelsea will feel confident with the way that we're defending in the last two matches and the way that we do look a little bit better going forward, a lot better actually going forward. I think Chelsea will be more confident than Spurs going into this game. There's pressure on both sides, but Thomas Tuchel's made a very good start to life as Chelsea manager. It's not just these press conferences that we were talking about last week now where we were analysing the words and his body language. There is a confidence in the way that we were playing in that game against Burnley. Yes, Burnley didn't really offer anything, but the more I see about how Tuchel's actually setting up this Chelsea side to both attack and defend, we can see that we don't actually give the opposition very much time on the ball, very much space on the ball, and it is actually beneficial for the Chelsea players that we use, such as, Marcus Alonso had a brilliant game. We see that when he's playing in that wing-back role, that he's at his absolute best again. And I think it broadens the squads of potential players that Thomas Tuchel can use. And I think this game against Spurs is actually a very exciting one for us. So, without any further ado, I'm going to move into my starting 11 for this one today. Obviously, we start off with the goalkeeper. It's Edouard Mendy. He's looked a lot more secure in the past couple of games. I know we haven't actually conceded a goal and we haven't had much to do defensively, but 2 clean sheets in a row is very big for his confidence. I think you can see across the entire team that there is a confidence brimming again within this side. No one's really struggling or looking at a place out there looking like they need a shoulder at this moment in time. I think under the last few games under Lampard, it did look as though some of our players, including maybe Mendy at times, who looked a bit shaky, it looked as though they just needed an arm around them, and at the moment, the confidence is coming back in. This is a massive test of a game, but Mendy keeps his place in goal as always. We move into a back three. Again, I didn't know if it was going to be the same in the second game under Tuchel as it was in the first, but it turns out that it was, and I don't see why we would change that going into this match today, considering Frank Lampard went with 3 centre-backs in the game last year away at Tottenham, and we got a famous victory. So, with that being said, I've decided to take Rudiger out of the team, but at the same time, I also think he could start Azpilicueta, Thiago Silva, and Kurt Zouma. I don't really know if Rudiger's done much to warrant him losing his place, and I doubt Tuchel will drop him for that reason. But I will say that what I have seen is, you look at Azpilicueta's goal. I said this specifically after the game against Wolves. Azpi's very comfortable and he's very confident overlapping as a centre-back, whereas Rudiger, do we see him, making those runs, overlapping the wing-back as much on the left-hand side? I don't think so. And I think Zouma would be a little bit more suited for that. Not that we often see Zouma dribble through the pitch, although we did against Ajax last season. That was almost an incredibly memorable moment there. But I just think Zuma's been pretty good this season, and I think it's a little bit unfair that he might have lost his place recently. So for that reason, and the discomfort that Rudiger might have of being that overlapping centre-back, I've put Zouma in instead. We move into the wing-backs again. This is where it gets very difficult because I want to put Reece James in the side, but Callum Hudson-Odoi has been playing superbly in the past couple of games. So, I don't know. Let me just quickly pop into the bedroom for a second. I don't know if he's going to stick with Callum again, because Callum's been in very good form, or if he's going to go with Reece James for this game. I have absolutely no idea, but I think he's going to stick with Callum Hudson-Odoi, and I think it would make the most sense to me because he has been playing so well, and quite frankly, I don't really think he deserves to be dropped at this moment in time. So Callum keeps his place at right wing back, and Marcus Alonso. I can't believe I'm saying this. I don't think I'd ever pick Alonso again in a match preview. But after that wonderful goal, I think Marcus Alonso deserves to keep his place. We saw the reasons why Thomas Tuchel picked him in that game against Spurs. He said he wanted him for his defensive height. He wanted him for his prowess going forwards. And he felt as though that position was far more favourable for Marcus Alonso because it is his best role. Vindicated, Alonso scored a wonderful goal. I thought he had a pretty decent game. I wouldn't think he was the best game he'd ever had, but it's also because we didn't really have any defending to do against a very blunt Burnley side. So Marcus Alonso keeps his place purely off of merit. I've said it all season long that there's been so many times where I feel like players have deserved to play more than those that were on the pitch, and Lampard didn't pick them. So it would be hypocritical of me to sit here and say, considering Tuchel's come in, changed the tactics up, and got the result with the individual that we were surprised about actually scoring, it would be very odd of me to actually change that up now. So I'm going to put Alonso in purely based off of merit for this game against Spurs. We know he likes a goal against Spurs as well. 2 at Wembley a couple years ago. Scored in the home game at Stamford Bridge last season as well. And I think he keeps his place for this one. I really do. It's a tough one, but I think he's going to keep it. We move into the centre midfield pairing. And again, I'm sticking with the same team that was so good against Burnley. Again, not entirely sure about N'Golo Kante, so Mateo Kovacic, who was an absolute baller in that game, and Mason Mount again. I think we see how important both of these two are. Kovacic, when he's in form, he is one of the most talented players in the Chelsea squad. Mason Mount's been in brilliant form pretty much all season. I can't drop either of them after that Burnley game. I think, Kante coming in could happen, but I personally can't justify dropping Kovacic or Mount after that Burnley performance and the recent performances as well. So we then move forward into the player playing behind the strikers, Christian Pulisic. It could be Kai Havertz, but I think Pulisic playing in a more central role is something that we could see a little bit more of. I think we've alluded, or Tuchel's alluded, to the fact that we could see Christian Pulisic playing in more of a false 9 role sometimes. That is possible, but I think Werner and Abraham will be the strikers again. Or maybe Kai Havertz plays. Oh, this is tough. I've changed my mind. I thought he'd play with Abraham again, but he brought him off at half-time because Tammy was poor. Kai Havertz to play behind the strikers with Christian Pulisic playing in like a false 9 position, Timo Werner further ahead of him. That is what I'm going to change it to. Let me know what you think of this lineup in the comments down below. We haven't seen this one before. It could be quite an exciting one. I think we could actually see it today. Massive game for Chelsea. Win this one, the Tuchel era is very much underway, and teams are going to start to be scared of Chelsea before he's even really had enough time to imprint his style and his philosophy onto this team. My score prediction, I'm going to go with realistic again. I'm going to say 1-1. I think it's going to be tight. I think there will be goals compared to the one that we saw at Stamford Bridge, but I don't think there'll be many. Going to say 1-1. Not an easy one, this, but it's a massive game. Biggest game in Chelsea's season, always. Tottenham Hotspur away. at the new White Hart Lane. Still no fans, sadly, but if you guys did enjoy this video today, be sure to hit the like button on the video. Let me know in the comments what you think of my starting 11. I know I changed it last minute. I put Pulisic in false 9, Tammy's drops, Kai Havertz plays behind the two strikers. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know your score predictions. I've gone with 1-1. Maybe we can nick it with a Marcus Alonso winner. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all later. Come on, you Blues.